No, plane, go away. Fuck with my sound.
My feet in the shot.
They can be if you lift them up. Hey. Hi. Hi guys. Hello. I am a whole new person. I feel like a whole new being. I've stepped into many dimensions, many different dimensions since I've last shown up for a stream of consciousness on this channel. I've opened so many doors and walked through so many different portals, and I'm in a new body in a sense, and I feel born anew. I just recently, yesterday actually, got back from a week-long event in Cancun for Dr. Joe Dispenza's unlimited meditation retreat. I'm gonna just start by saying that it was so hard to say because I've had so many amazing moments in my life, and I've lived such a fulfilling lifetime already, and I'm not even 30 yet. And yeah, I feel like I've lived like 5 lives worth of life, you know. And I do want to be hesitant while I say this because I've done so many things, but this was the most amazing, beautiful, eye-opening, life-changing experience of my entire existence. And I've done a lot of great shit. I've done a lot of amazing things, y'all. Before I jump into this, I want to just say I look astoundingly beautiful. I am just so, what an avatar this is, you know? I've come a long way. I've come a long way to look this damn good and to feel this damn good. And of course, you know, when I speak on how amazing and beautiful I look, I'm not just speaking from like an appearance standpoint. Of course, I'm speaking from the light that radiates within me and then shows up as this on the outside. I'm pleased with both, the inner and the outer. But yes, goddamn, I look great. I look great as like a 3D being avatar. Like this is just, this is divine. I could look like anything, and I look like this. This is great. This is absolutely everything that I could want out of my reflection that I see when I look in the mirror, for sure. Okay. Dr. Joe Dispenza, I love you. You're not watching this video, but I just want to say, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I love you. He could be watching this video. Thank you for that correction.
Hey.
That's Trinity, y'all. That's Ethereal Trinity. Y'all know who she is. And for y'all who don't, she's ethereal and her name is Trinity. Okay. Dr. Joe is an amazing human being. And I love how, like, at the event, we really weren't, like, putting him on some pedestal. Like, every time we were talking, we're all talking about ourselves and the inner transformation we're having, like, at lunch and dinner and, you know, all these beautiful people I met. We don't have Dr. Joe on a pedestal. We're just learning from him, and we just see his intentions. But I definitely want to take time to just say, like, he is such a good dude. Like, honestly, he is such an amazing man. Like, the work he's doing, this guy is a fucking machine. He is so passionate about explaining the quantum field to everyone and sharing this information. And the thing is that he talks about this same stuff all the time, and he does it with no reluctancy, with no hesitance. Like, he was a fucking machine for a week, just waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. just like telling us this information with passion, and then telling us to recite it to each other. He's like, he'll explain something, and then he's like, turn to the person next to you and share what I just told you. Explain what I just told you to the person next to you. So, you know, of course we can process the information more when we're able to explain it to someone else rather than just hearing it and then he just keeps talking. But when he tells us to turn to the person next to us and then explain it, that allows us to not only receive the information but share it as well. And I mean, the experience itself was absolutely man, it was blowing my mind. The biggest thing that blew my mind about the whole, well, there was a few things, but I think the biggest thing for me that really stood out and that stuck with me, I'm a people's person. My last name is Peoples, for y'all who don't know. It's something about meeting different characters. You know, we watch movies, right, and we fall in love with these characters, or we get involved with these characters, get invested emotionally, and we learn them, and we just see their traumas and their triumphs and their trials and tribulations, and you know, we just so invested into these characters when we watch a movie. Well, life is the greatest film that I've ever seen. Like the reality I'm actually in is better than any movie that I've ever seen in my life. And so when I meet people, I'm meeting characters, I'm meeting people with a story, with a plot, with a timeline, with just like different ambitions, different desires, like different places they come from, different upbringings. It's a whole story. Each person is their own movie. And I love to just like meet people and dive in. And this is why I say all the time I have such a Sonder perspective. I literally embody that shit. I think about all the time all the different possibilities that exist outside of my own. While I'm in traffic, I'm like, damn, all these cars are going to a different destination, different place. Like somebody's on the way to have sex, somebody on the way to do some drugs, somebody on the way to a job that they don't fucking like, somebody on the way to, you know, finalize their divorce. Like somebody, it's just like all types of shit. Somebody about to go out to eat with their friends and have the best time ever. Someone, you know, it's just so many different possibilities. It's infinite. And I'm always considering them. And so at this event, me being the people's person that I am, I got to meet so many different cultures, backgrounds. It was blowing my fucking mind. It was literally an infinity pool of possibility of people that I can meet. I mean, I have a whole list of people that I wrote down. I wrote down their name and then where they're from. But honestly, that's less than a quarter of the people that I actually met and got to talk to, because it was so many, I just couldn't get them all into my phone. But yeah, man, there was a couple people who stood out to me. Sean from Chicago, Alex from Germany, Anna from Barcelona, Julia, my favorite, Julia, my bestie, my soul sister, Julia from New Jersey. I love you, Julia, if you're watching this. I forgot what that lady's name was from Morocco. It was so many people. Jim Humphreys from London. Bro, it's so crazy. And think about meeting all these people. It's not like you're just meeting all these different possibilities of people and y'all are just kind of talking about surface level shit. You're meeting them in the most vulnerable, heart opening space possible. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're getting to know these people and why they're showing up. And some people are there because they just got diagnosed with cancer. Some people, you know, are just, everybody's crying together and hugging each other. Like you're meeting them in this most humanly way possible. And that's just what I love the most. I saw so much kind, compassionate human behavior being exhibited amongst 2,200 people. New Earth in full fucking effect. New Earth in full fucking effect, bro. Like, I'm seeing it in real time. We did this coherence healing, which was probably like the second most like mind-blowing thing to me, right? We did this coherence healing, and what a coherence healing is when a group of people come together. It was 6 of us. We come together to put a focus on healing this person that is in front of us. And these people could vary. Like some people have ailments, the healies that are receiving the healing, they can have ailments like cancer, breast cancer, Parkinson's, something just very detrimental to their well-being, or just, you know, some trauma in their life. And then there was also these kids in these Mexican orphanages, because we were in Mexico, and they had these kids that were there at the coherence healing who have been through just traumatic upbringings. I mean, their parents had them sold, and there's no telling for what they were being used for, and they they've been through the worst shit ever, and we were doing coherence healings on them to help change, the course of their life and just bring healing to their energetic field. And what we were doing was putting a focus on the quantum field and the electromagnetic energy surrounding their body, right? And so we would tap into the quantum field to get into a space of pure energy and pure consciousness, and we will synchronize our hearts and be in a coherent state of mind and coherent state of heartfelt balance, so that when we are sending this energy to these people, we will hold out our hands like this. We will be changing the electromagnetic field surrounding their bodies by changing our energy first. And we will all set this intention by tapping truly into our heart, focusing on love, focusing on compassion, focusing on the coherence, which has like a certain orderly pattern to it. When your heart is coherent, when your mind is coherent, there's a certain orderly pattern that takes place. And when you're in an orderly pattern within yourself and you're in the quantum field, you're able to send out a coherent signal and a very orderly, divine, geometric signal to an electromagnetic energy that isn't in coherence. You know what I mean? So we were literally channeling that energy and reorganizing the pattern surrounding somebody's energetic body. And the first time we did the coherence healing, everyone was already emotional because we're showing up knowing that we're about to change the course of somebody's life. So we were taking that shit serious. The first day that happened, it was 2,200 people in the lobby and it was dead quiet. Like, I'm looking at everybody and we're like in our hearts, and some people are already crying. We're like, oh my God, bro, because there's data that's already been proven and testimonies before this event that people who have received the coherence healing, the healees, they have walked away without cancer in their body anymore, without MS, without depression and PTSD. Like this shit has happened. Like, there's thousands of testimonies of people who have received coherence healing and their lives changed forever. So the shit literally works, bro. Like, we were sitting there doing this and I could feel an energy emanating from my hands being projected onto these people. And the last lady that I did a coherence healing on, it was 6 of us. She got up and took her blindfold off after receiving the healing. She got up and looked at us like, what the fuck just happened? Like, she looked at us like, what the fuck were y'all doing? What was that? She was just so perplexed. Like, something happened to her, and something was happening to us while we were doing it also. It wasn't just the healing for her. There's people who have received profound healings from being the healers, from projecting the energy. People have healed nerve damage within their body, who have healed asthma, who have healed just like the most, the most limiting symptoms and whatever they're going through. It's so many different things that, so many different diseases and ailments that people show up for, but people have healed themselves from being healers, and the attempt of healing someone else have also come out changing the course of their own life. It's happened thousands of times. So that was great, because after the end of the coherence healing, we will all look at each other. We'll open our eyes and all look at each other, and tears are streaming down our face, and we get up and we're like hugging each other. And these are people I've never met a day in my life. Everybody that I was in a coherence healing with, I had never talked to outside of that moment. You know what I mean? I had never met them or crossed paths with them at the event. But in that moment, that was my first time sharing with them, seeing them, and it was the most heartfelt, compassionate, human space possible. And I'm like, damn, this is how, like, to meet a stranger in that way, you know what I mean? A stranger, right? Quotes around that. To meet a stranger in that type of capacity is just it's not typical. You would never. Typically, you just walk by people you don't know and don't say anything. So, and then I have to consider, like, what does that mean on, like, the macrocosm level, that you meet, the first time you meet this soul in this lifetime is in this space, and I feel like in a way that's divinely orchestrated beyond our conscious mind can, you know, perceive and understand in this moment, you know, in this human form. Man, bro, I was just in tears. I just love seeing human beings be human and connect and be beyond ego and just dissolving the fucking illusion of separation. One thing I don't care for is the illusion of separation. To just really feel like the person next from you is separate from you. It's such an illusion. We are literally one source. We are literally one love. We are literally one consciousness. You zoom out and you look at Earth from space, you don't see one individual human. You see one fucking planet, bruh. And if you zoom out further than that, you see one solar system. You see one sun. You see one galaxy. We are all one. We are all one. 1,000%. Is that an American flag behind me? I don't like that. Anyway. Yes, and so to meet people in this humanity and also in fucking paradise, we're at this fucking Cancun resort, all you can eat, everything included, and it was just sunlight every day, sun every day, palm trees every day, no chance of rain, just every day I woke up and just no clouds, my bad, and just blue sky and sun rays and beach and infinity pools and all you can eat cakes, dessert, you know, burgers and fries and pasta and salads and divinely crafted drinks and fresh juice and just oh my god, and then just heartfelt, heartwarming people with no ego and just love. It was just like, what the fuck? And then at nighttime the stars come out and the moon and we're just right by the water and it's still warm outside. It's like 70 degrees and it's just everything's perfect and the breeze is nice. It was just like, god damn, bro, this is heaven on earth. They told you that you gotta die to go to heaven first. They fucking lied. They lied. Them niggas was capped. They said you have to die and then wait for the afterlife, or wait for judgment first. That's what they said. They said you gotta wait for judgment before you can get to heaven. They fucking lied, bro. I've experienced heaven so many times on earth. I've experienced heaven within my own body, eyes closed. And I'm surely gonna experience it after I die too, but not in the way that was told to me. Anyway, they fucking lied, bro. Heaven is now, and if you don't think that it's possible, how the fuck you gonna see it? How the fuck you gonna experience it if you don't even think it's possible? You gonna wait till you die? You gonna wait till you die to experience it? You can't experience what you don't believe is possible, or what you don't believe is true. Like, come on, bro. Man, it changed my life. It changed my life in so many ways. We did this pineal gland meditation at 4 a.m. Yes, this man, Dr. Joe, had us wake up around like 3 o'clock in the morning to prepare for a meditation at 4 a.m. And he wanted us to be in a state of sleepiness so that our melatonin was still activating and producing. And we had put a focus on our pineal gland, and he was telling us to stay focused there so that we could, in hopes, maybe not really for this, it's strictly for this, but in hopes of having a mystical experience. But also, you know, he was letting us know, if you don't have the mystical experience, it's okay. It's not really about the mystical experience. It's about the practice of getting in tune with this center, you know. And so I'm sleepy as hell. He had me right where he wanted me. I'm in the event like, oh my god, man, I want some sleep, because I had to wake up to an alarm every day because we were doing other meditations at 6 a.m. So I was sleepy. I like my full 8 hours of sleep, and I was compromising every night, you know. So that night, or that morning, 4 a.m., I'm sitting there like sleepy, and he's like, focus on 6, you know, Focus on your third eye. So I'm focusing on it, and he ends up telling us to lay down after us being up for like an hour and a half in meditation. We lay down, and I'm like, oh yeah, I already know I'm finna drift off. And I drift off, and I end up drifting off into my subconscious, going to sleep. And there is a point where I get very lucid, and vivid imagery is happening, and I'm aware while it's happening. We know what lucid dreaming is, but like, imagine again dreaming, and then you wake up in it while it's happening, but you're not fully wake up. You don't wake up in 3D. You wake up in the vivid imagery that's taking place. I was like, hold on, now I can do whatever the fuck I want. I started to do crazy shit. It was a car that came by in traffic. I just stopped it with my hand. It was going like 100 miles per hour. I just ceased, and I just stopped it with my fingers, and then I walked through a wall, and then I like took like a jump that was like an Incredible Hulk jump. Like I fucking jumped up and just blasted off into the atmosphere, then landed, and I was like, oh shit, like it was crazy lucid. And then I went into the water, I started swimming and just doing all types of shit, and then I ended up going to sleep from that point. It lasted like 5 minutes, but it was very lucid. And then I woke up and remembered that I was in it. I was like, oh my God, that was fucking incredible. So from this point on, I took something from that for sure, where I'm like, all right, bet. I'm going to experiment with waking up out of my sleep around like 4 a.m. and then laying down on the ground and staying awake, but allowing myself to kind of drift into my subconscious and start to dream. Because when I woke up from that meditation, I was like, oh my God, that realm is 10 times cooler than this one. This shit has limits. This shit has limits to some degree. It's, there's like Newtonian physics that govern this realm. But in here, in the pineal gland, that melatonin, that DMT that produces in our brains while we're asleep, that shit is infinite. Y'all know what it's like in dreams. We be doing all types of shit. So to become conscious in it, become aware at will, yeah, that's a practice I'm definitely implementing while I'm here, for sure. For the rest of my life, I'm finna keep at it and keep trying to produce mystical experiences, because people see all types of shit when they go within themselves and activate the pineal gland. They see their ancestors, they see versions of them that exist in future timelines that come to them. Like, it's just, the possibilities are endless. You could do anything in that realm, and there's no lack, there's no limits. Like, that's everything. I'm trying to go flying in that shit. I'm trying to activate all superpowers and find a way to use it to be conductive to whatever I want to experience here in this reality as well. Thank you, son. Thank you, son, for being here. Thank you, Divine Father. Thank you, Mother Earth, too. Thank you so much. Something that comes to mind to me often, it just like pops up as an image in my mental, is how many beautiful smiles I saw in people's faces, on people's faces, and the light that was emanating from people's eyes. I saw so many beautiful people. I would just walk by and just smile and just see them with their heart open, and they would just smile back at me. And so many people would just walk up to me and introduce themselves and ask me where I'm from, and vice versa. And also, the beautiful thing about being able to connect with all these different people is that it makes me feel so culturally rich within myself, that I could talk to a Jim Humphreys from London, this 57-year-old man who lives in London and has his own life. He's like, he owns elevators and buildings in London and stuff, and that's his business. And I'm just like talking to him about life, and the fact that like I, as a nigga from Dallas, Texas, from the hood, from the projects, I always have to let that be known that I'm from the projects, because it's like, damn, how did I get to where I'm at? But like, the fact that I'm this person, nigga with locks, I mean, I'm multidimensional. I can relate to so many different people. Like, I love that. It makes me feel so culturally rich. It makes me feel so expansive as a human being that I could receive information from this completely different person in this completely different timeline and then relate to them and then share my experiences with them. It's like, damn, if I spent 2 years in Atlanta and I don't go any fucking where, or I take a drive to Alabama at the most, you know, maybe go to Tennessee. If I do that for 2 years, what's the chances of me meeting Anna from Barcelona, Jim from fucking Spain, Jim from London, or Constantina from Morocco? You know, what are the chances of that happening? I met so many people from everywhere, and having a conversation with them, being able to relate to them, just brought such a, again, just rich. It makes me feel so rich because I'm just getting all these different perspectives on life, and my possibilities are just endless. And to receive information from them gives me a different possibility in my mind as to what can exist here on Earth. You know what I mean? And oh, he's so cute. Don't bite me though. Yeah, and that just feels so good. It just feels so good to just relate to someone who's completely different from you, who has a completely different upbringing and environment that they come from, and different accent and different languages that they speak in. Like that's just so enriching to my brain, and it expands my neural pathways. To touch on Dr. Joe a little bit more, I'm really intrigued by a lot of the stuff that he doesn't tell us, you know, that may be like unconventional, because everything that he's sharing with us is science-based, and well, I feel like is acceptable, that doesn't stir up too much trouble, even though I still do wonder how he's able to do what he's doing. I mean, people are healing their cancer, you know, people are surprising their own doctors that gave them this death sentence, and shocking the medical industry with this groundbreaking what the fuckness. Like, what do you mean? How did that hole in your heart grow back? What the hell? How did that hole in your heart, you know what I'm trying to say, or how did like you grow back a fucking thyroid? Like, these things are happening. Like, people are getting things surgically removed and then going through a meditation, and then that organ is reforming in their body. Like, doctors have never seen shit like that before. One guy from Germany, Alex from Germany, he was diagnosed with some type of brain cancer, I believe. And he was telling us, because Germans are just so logical, they're very logical people. He was telling me how, like, his doctor told him he was diagnosed with cancer, and then just told him he had like a year to live, and just kept talking. He's like, yeah, you diagnosed with this type of brain cancer, you have a year to live, and then also, and just kept talking like he didn't just tell this man that he has a year to live and he has some type of brain cancer. And Alex was telling me he was just like so shocked that he didn't even show any emotion when he said that. He didn't even give him time to process what he just told him. He just said it and just continued talking. Like, and I end up talking to Alex later. No. And me and Julia, hi Julia, once again, she was my bestie at the event. She's like my soul sister. We're talking about the Dolphins, Syrians, and Arcturians, and we just spoke the same soul language. It's so funny how we know each other from like a soul level, but it's like, oh wait, like I don't know you're human yet, but I'm just now meeting you're human, but I know you beyond this. So it's like, damn, I already know you on the soul level, but it's like getting to know you as a human being. That's like so fucking cool, because usually it's the opposite. You get to know someone as a human being, and then maybe you like grow into awareness, and then you meet them on the soul level. But now I'm seeing a lot of that it's the opposite nowadays. The more we're shifting into higher timelines, we're like linking up with our group soul members, you know. That's what remembering means, by the way. Remember. It's like regathering the members of your consciousness, of your group soul family, you know, your council. Is your council. It's like it's a remembering, regathering the members and coming together. And so yeah, I feel like that's a lot of that is happening now. But yeah, back to Alex. Like, me and Julia was just rooting for Alex, because we were like, man, you're gonna heal your cancer. Even if it's not at this event, it's gonna happen at some point. You're gonna heal your cancer, and you're gonna show Germans what it's like to be in their hearts, to be okay with being more emotional creatures, you know. and was like, Alex, we're rooting for you. It was like, go Alex, go Alex, go, let's do it. It was just hyping him up. And then Julia ended up telling me that Alex was selected as a healee for the coherence healing. So he was going to be one of the ones laying down, receiving the energy, that we were emanating. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that was so amazing to hear after like talking to him and just telling him he was gonna heal and shit. I was like, oh my God, I fucking love that. Like, that's so incredible. And so anyway, the last day of the event, 2 days ago, we're up at like 4 a.m. Me, Julia, and Sean from Chicago. We're like talking, and then we're about to head back to the hotel, and Alex ends up like walking by, and we're like, Alex, and he's like, what's good? He's just like, what's up? And I'm like, oh shit, like, what are you doing up? He said he just hasn't been able to sleep because he just has so much energy. He said he's just been able to sleep for like 3 hours, and he just gets up because he's just felt the best he's ever felt in his entire life, and he's just been feeling so amazing. So he's like, yeah, I just been sleeping for 3 hours and I just get up. I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, oh shit, Alex, how did the coherence healing go? And he was like, I'm completely healed. He's just like, I'm completely healed. I know, I feel it. It's gone. I know it's gone. I don't have it anymore. It's in the old body. I was like, are you fucking serious, Alex? He's like, yeah, it's just gone. He's like, I'm about to, go back home and get my scans and, just to, get the official results. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to, change everybody's mind with this. Like he said, he's like, my doctors are going to be shocked, and the people around me, they're going to be very surprised. I'm about to just, change the whole perspective on what's possible, when I go back home. And yeah, because his doctors gave him a year to live, and I think he's past that point, and he's just like, yeah, I'm completely healed. He's like, I know it's gone. I can tell it's in my body. It's not there anymore. It's like, bro, hold the fuck up. I was so fucking happy for Alex, bro. I'm so happy for Alex because, wow, it's so amazing. And then, there's a science behind as to how this happens, I know hearing the results are crazy. And of course, like, people who don't even have the science and are just spiritual beings, we already understand that type of stuff. We know it's possible because we believe in energy. We believe in what's on the other side of the veil. We know that the unknown has power, and we don't always need logic and science and facts and data and logistics and studies to inform our belief. We already just believe. We already know. We've seen too much mystical, unexplainable things. But there is a science that is behind this, and I love that Dr. Joe presents that, so that, for example, when we're doing a coherence healing, we know it's possible because he presents the science as to how it can be possible. He shows that when you're in a coherent energy and you're in a coherent field, you can create coherence with a coherent intention. And he's like showing these symbols and patterns and how it works, and like what happens when you're in your heart, and we're like, okay, it makes sense. So now when we're channeling this energy coherently, we know that we can do it. And so what happened with Alex is that he probably just went into a state of quantum where he was nobody, nowhere, no thing. He wasn't attached to any 3D possibility, anything that reminded him of who he was, anything that's familiar. And when you're in that space, you're in the realm of infinite possibility. You are not attached to anything. Your mind isn't focused on your mother, your job, like, when you're not thinking about anything in 3D, do you understand that anything is possible? Do you understand you're in the field of the quantum, of the infinite realm, of the universal mind, of pure consciousness, of pure nothingness, where everything is sourced from? So what happened with Alex is that he probably just got into such a high state of vibration, a high state of energy, that no polarity, no disease, and no ailments could even exist. And they can't exist in a certain frequency. They cannot exist on a certain vibration. Diseases and ailments and cancers, they cannot exist on a very high vibration. They will be automatically brought back into coherence, because disease is a incoherent pattern. It's a disorderly pattern. So when you tap into a state of coherence and things get organized, things get super, harmonious, you automatically alchemize any disease and ailments and anything that isn't coherent, that isn't already in coherence. It gets brought back into synchronicity. It gets brought back into harmony and balance. And so what Alex did was probably got into that state so deeply that he came back and his body was completely new. He entered into a whole new vessel. He came back into a different being, and he got a biological upgrade. And so Dr. Joe explained pretty well how, like, you ever been in a restroom, right? Been in a restroom and there's a mirror on this side, there's a mirror on this side, there's a mirror in front of you, and you look to the side, you see infinite mirrors that way, and then you look to the side and see infinite mirrors of you that way. What happens when we enter the quantum field is that I probably could skip like 7 different mirrors, which is like 7 different dimensions or 7 different octaves that way. And then I open my eyes and everything may look the same. The mirror may look the same, but the possibility, when I open that restroom door and walk out, I step into a whole different realm of possibilities. I done moved like 7 different dimensions over because I done shifted into just a different being. I've gotten into an energetic state that, like, my body isn't the same. Does that make sense? Like, my body is, I'm getting into an energy that is elevating my frequency, which brings me to a new state of, like, information that I'm receiving. Different biological functionings are happening in my body. There's things that are happening with your blood, with your organs, with your veins, and, you know, hormonally, chemically, epigenetically, biologically. You know, there's so many things that are happening within yourself when you're meditating. Things get very coherent, things get very orderly, and things get very synchronized. There's so much happening behind our conscious awareness that are taking place. And this is where Dr. Joe is doing his studies. He's studying tears, he's studying breast milk, he's studying blood samples, he's studying sweat, he's studying every single thing because there's information in it. And so, damn, I wish the sun would come back. Yeah. So anything is possible, to sum it up. I'm sure I was going somewhere with that, but anything is possible, to sum it up. And yeah, man, y'all gotta come to an event, bro. Y'all gotta come to an event. Y'all gotta see, we as human beings, we have to see us in that type of compassion, that type of humanity. We need to see that. We need movies on the big screen, on the big fucking screen. We need movies in theaters where we're showing that type of behavior, that type of connection and love between us as humans. We watch too much weird shit now. Like, we put too much weird programming into our mental, like horror movies and all this like weird shit, people doing serial killer shit and like weird ass images of children being creepy, and we watch too much weird shit. We need to see more of that of which we want to envision for the world. A wise man once said, Saint Germain, my angel, you know, my brother in this lifetime, he is an immortal being who has reclaimed his eternal life in his lifetime. Well, not in his lifetime, but I think on planet Earth. Look up Saint Germain. He's had many lifetimes, many bodies. He exists beyond form, but he works with us as human beings on a ground level. Like, he makes himself very present. People channel his energy all the time. Saint Germain once wisely said to me, "You are what you gaze upon. You are what you gaze upon." And so this is why I don't really care to watch like weird ass movies and shows and shit where like weird things are happening, because it's psychologically warping. We need to see human beings. We need to see 2,200 people tapping into their hearts, walking on the beach with their hearts open, in compassion, tears streaming down their face, hugging each other, loving each other. We need to see that. That needs to be normalized. We need to know that there's a new emergence of a new consciousness, a new earth happening on our planet. We need that reminder. And I mean, it's gonna happen regardless. The vibes are in full effect. The awakening is in full effect. You can't stop it. Like, it's a ripple effect that's just going every fucking where. It's radiating amongst the whole planet. You can't stop it. I mean, I envisioned this for myself, the retreat that I was on, the shit that Dr. Joe is doing, I envisioned this 10 years ago when I was reading The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life by Drunvalo Melchizedek. And I'm like, okay, he's talking about this new emergent consciousness that's about to take place. There's about to be a new earth, and, you know, we're shifting into the divine feminine, and, you know, you're about to see just humans awaken. And I'm like, damn, I feel pretty lonely in this awakening process. I mean, I had London, James, and Jerron with me, my 3 brothers. We grew into awareness together, but I felt like it was just only us, and then maybe Jaden and Willow. And then I started to see something, you know. Then Charles Gambino started to say, like, we are God, we are becoming God. He started to talk that talk, and, you know, kept progressing in the journey. I'm like, okay, you know, see people talking about self-awareness and, you know, being out in nature, seeing people kind of, okay, all right, people starting to get it. Okay, maybe something is happening. Maybe there is a shift that's taking place. Up until the point that I'm at an event where I'm on the beach with 2,200 people, and everybody's walking around with their hearts open and smiling and tears streaming down their face, and we're hugging each other and crying, and no ego, just all love, no separation. I'm like, oh shit, no, this is everything I envisioned, everything I could have wanted for myself and for humanity years ago. This is everything I've dreamt for Earth, more importantly, because I have so much love for her, and she's been through so much spiritual warfare, and I'm just like, damn, we've put her through so much as human beings, and even just whatever energies and powers that be that control human beings, that influence us unconsciously, if we're unconscious of our power. She's been through so much. So this is everything I could ever want for her, for human beings, and for human consciousness as a whole, and even, you know, animals and plants and insects, trees, everything, all inhabitants on Earth. Yeah, and what was also interesting about the thing with Dr. Joe being able to do what he's doing without any pushback or any, like, governmental control, like saying, oh, he can't do this, like, because once again I am very surprised that he's able to do what he's doing. And it's just, I think it's just a testament to the time that we're in. They can't stop us forever, but they've killed so many of our leaders. So many people who've tried to create change on Earth have been infiltrated by the government and just other powers that be that don't want to see humanity thrive. And someone told me, what was her name? I forgot her name, but she was a beautiful woman from Vancouver, British Columbia. She lives in Tulum, Mexico now. She was really in tune, and I love talking to her. I was talking to her the last night I was there by the water. We were out on the dock, and she was just like, yeah, I think Dr. Joe he works with Saturn. He works with Saturn. I was like, what do you mean he works with Saturn? And, you good. And she's just saying, because I don't think I told you that part. She, you know, because Saturn rules, like, it rules discipline, structure, the system of things. And she was like, he works with Saturn. Like, she's like, I can just tell. Like, she was in tune astrologically. She's like, he works with Saturn, and that's why he hasn't, like, met any resistance, because he's using, like, the energy of Saturn to help usher humans into the consciousness.
And for him to have such a technical, logical book, even though it's not, but it is, but it's very 50-50.
It's 50-50.
50-50 mystical, 50-50 logical.
Yeah.
Because the way he has to explain it for them Wall Street niggas to get it, that makes sense.
You see, yeah, exactly. And so she was like, yeah, he's working with Saturn. And I was like, damn, I wonder if he's doing that consciously. Like, I was like, do you think he's doing that consciously, or just kind of like happening in that way? It's just synchronizing in that way. And she's like, probably both, you know. But her as an astrologer, being into astrology, she just knew that. She just felt it. She was like, yeah, he's working with Saturn for sure. And I've always struggled with Saturn, to be honest. My Saturn is in Pisces. And yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, Pisces is ruled by the planet that dissolves all boundaries, and, you know,
boundaries. Saturn is all boundaries.
And Saturn is all boundaries. And I've always struggled with, like, being in the system and being a part of it. And I kept telling everybody that, like, especially the men I would meet there, that were already solidified in their business. Like, I met a lot of men who were making good money and, you know, stable, and they would be like, yeah, my first time meditating ever was 2 days ago. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've been on a journey. Like, that's what I stepped into completely. I immediately went into the spiritual journey, the spiritual path, before even wanting to focus on money, think about what I'm going to do as a career. I dropped out of high school, and I was just telling them like the contrast between us, because they went business first and they went solidified first and they went super masculine first and they got their shit together, and then now they're, you know, like 55 trying to open their heart. They're, you know, they're struggling with it, but then they're asking me advice about how I do it and how I get into it. And I'm asking them about their business and how did they, you know, get to what they're doing, and, you know, getting super financially secure and shit. So that was really interesting, but it makes sense that Joe is using Saturn to, you know, work with, to just make whatever he wants manifest, and to help human beings, because the powers that be, the elites, they're using Saturn as well, and in a very manipulative way. But Saturn is a very manipulative energy, and manipulation can be used in a moral, ethical way. It can be, if you're trying to manipulate a situation for the betterment of human beings. Like when Dr. Joe was trying to put us in a trance so we can activate our infinite potential, that was a sort of manipulation, but really just kind of a creation. If anything, it's just creating something so that, you know, people can have guidance, or people can have some type of structure, or, you know, plan or organization and thing like that, you know, steps. So you get it. Damn, I want the sun to come back. I miss you, sun. For those of you who are gonna ask, because I already know there's gonna be some questions, this bandana came from AB. She made this. For those of you who know AB, if you don't, I'll put AB's Instagram right there.
These niggas know AB.
Yeah, you should know AB, because everyone asks, where did I get it from? Everybody, it came from AB. Shouts out to AB. She'll be selling these very soon. We just gotta get the marketing and promotion together. So everyone can access them, because these shits are fire. These shits are so hard. Damn, I look great. Such an immersive experience. It was the best experience I've ever had in my life. It was incredible. I was in paradise. I was in the most beautiful place ever, with beautiful palm trees, beach, infinity pools, all you can eat, and then just lovely people from everywhere in the fucking world. Everywhere. Oh my God. And once again, Julia, you touched my heart. I love you so much. I'm so grateful to have met you again in this life, or met you in this life for the first time, but at the Dr. Joe Dispenza event. Like, what a great alignment that we orchestrated as our higher selves to meet in that moment. And also, there were dolphins on campus.
Dolphins
Unfortunately,
on campus?
Unfortunately, they were in
a container.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Were y'all talking about?
But I did. Yes. We jumped the gate. Well, I jumped the gate twice to go sit and talk to the dolphins, and both times I got kicked out. But I didn't give a fuck. I was like, yeah. Like, first Julia was like, should we do this? Like, I was like, yeah, I'm finna jump that fence and go sit right by the pool. And the dolphins came up, bro. It was so fucking cool. The first night before I jumped the fence, Julia was like, we should try to send our heart frequency, our love vibration out to them, because we weren't able to see where they were at, because we went at night. And I was like, damn, I don't know if they're here. We were like, damn, are they sleep before their shift, before they gotta clock in tomorrow? You know, it was like, how do dolphins sleep? Do they sleep? Because we couldn't see them. So I was like, damn, I wonder if they're there. And she was like, we should send our love, our energy. We should synchronize, and you know, they do sonar frequencies and shit like that, so like they can feel the vibrations. And so she was like, we should just tune into our hearts. And I'm like, all right. And she's just like so optimistic. She's just one of those people that like, oh, we can do anything as long as as long as we believe it. And I love that energy from her. So we had sat there and we was like tuning into our hearts, and I started to feel this like tingling sensation. But at first I was like, bro, like, is this really going? Like, I was being a little like skeptical, like, all right, yeah, we can try it, you know. But then I started to feel this tingling sensation like 2 minutes in my chest, and would you know, right there, lo and behold, the dolphins start to come up and start to move around. And I was like, oh my God, it worked. And then my heart even more just started to come out, because I am in love with the dolphins. For those of you who don't know, the dolphins are not animals. They're not just these animals that swim in the ocean. Dolphins, sorry. Dolphins are beings who reincarnate on Earth through the Sirian star system, which is the planet, which is the star. I think there's 2 or 3 stars in the Sirian star system. But we definitely know of 2, Sirius A and Sirius B. Our planet is revolving around Sirius. It actually has a gravitational pull on our sun. I'm sorry. Our sun is being pulled by the Sirian star system, which is like a bigger star cluster. And the dolphins incarnate on our planet through the Sirian star system, and they're here to help keep the planet at a high enough vibration. Like, they literally breathe air. They breathe air like us. We breathe air just like dolphins, but they live underwater. Like, that's so fucking cool. And they're conscious of human beings. They understand our origins. They're not just animals, you know, these primitive things. Like, they are self-aware. They identify themselves when they look in the mirror. People have done studies on this. Like, the dolphins, when they see a mirror, they stop and they identify. They've done this to other animals, and nobody else responds. No other animals respond. But dolphins will look at themselves in the mirror and see themselves. Like, dolphins are conscious beings. So I just had this pull to go see them once Julia told me they were on site. And I'm like, oh my God. And even though they're held in captivity, of course, that fucking sucks. Like, Julia was telling me how she battles with that, you know, or how she has battled with it in the past, because old Julia would have been like, get them the fuck out of the pool, take them back to their homes. Like, and of course I feel that way too, like, why the fuck are they in captivity? But they were there. It was out of our control, so we just sent them love. And I really wanted to see them, and I sat by the water, and then one came up and just kind of like looked, and it was very close. It was very close to us. It's just like, oh my God. And then the fucking security came and had the flashlight and told us to leave. And then Julia was like, before the security came and approached us, she was like, should we run? We should run. Let's go. Let's run. I was like, no, like, he already sees us. If we run, this is gonna make it worse. We should just stay grounded, stay meditative, and, you know, when he comes up, we'll just be peaceful. But then I ended up coming back 2 days later, even though I got kicked out. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I want to sit with the dolphins. Because as soon as the dolphin came up and like talked to us, that's when the lights came. I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't get enough time. I love dolphins. They were in my meditations. The meditations were super powerful. I really didn't get much into the meditations either. I had some very life-changing meditations, you know, nothing like super crazy, like super, you know, different than what I've already been experiencing in my meditations before coming to the event. Besides the pineal gland lucid dreaming thing, that one was different. I haven't experienced that. That did inspire me. But you know, I felt very, very much what I typically feel in my meditations before coming to the event. You know, very heart-centered, very electric. You know, tapping into my chakra centers. I will say though, I gained a newfound connection with my chakras since being at the event, because instead of me closing my eyes and feeling like my chakras are like on the outside of my body or kind of connecting with them from thinking I'm looking down at them, I now feel within my body. If I'm trying to channel energy from my root, I can feel my whole consciousness go down to my root and then start to activate, rather than like me feeling like I'm touching it from like the outside in. I feel it from the inside out, truly emanating from that source. And then even my heart, I feel it beating from inside, like radiating genuinely from inside, rather than giving me like, oh, I'm focusing on green, I'm focusing on my heart, and I kind of like imagining it externally then internally. I really feel it like internally out, and it's just so easy for me to get into my chakra centers very, very, very at will if I want to. If I want to tap into my heart, I get into there at will. You know, it's crazy. It's so crazy. So I'm sure there's more I want to say about the event. Overall, to sum it up, guys, I would recommend you to go to a Dr. Joe Dispenza week-long event. They say the one in Cancun is the best, just based on the environment that it's in. He has them all over, you know, in Denver and Dallas. Like, he does them all the time. I mean, he's done 57 week-long meditation events. 57, that's over a year's worth of time. And he's so passionate about it every time. This man did not share this information like he shared it before. This man's talking like this is his first event ever. He treated it like it was his first event that he's ever done. He had one of the lead scientists in his camp talk to us about the, you know, the specific data that's been showing up. And they have the largest meditation study in human history. Him and the Heart Math Institute and just his team, his companies, whoever, you know, they have the largest study on meditation in human history, and it's why he's able to produce so many results and so much tangible change in people's reality, and is working. I mean, I don't even do the specific meditations that he provides, and I still just read the information and am able to experiment based off of what I'm reading. Like, literally, I just read his information, I study his information, and then I'm able to use that information as a means of experimentation within myself, rather than looking at it like, oh, this is work. This isn't work for me anymore. This is now just experimentation. When you feel synchronicities are taking place in your life because you know what you're doing within yourself is creating them, you don't feel like, this meditation is such work. Let me wake up and I gotta do this chore. It doesn't feel like a fucking chore. You're like, no, this is creating harmonious timelines in my life. Like, I actually feel tangible change taking place in my physical reality. I'm finna get up and what else would I want to do? I wouldn't want to do anything. I don't want to wake up and touch my phone. I don't want to wake up and just get caught back up in 3D. No, I want to tap within myself and create first and then start my day there. Like, it's no better option. There's literally no better option. That's why I rarely ever say that I'm doing the work anymore. People are like, oh, you're really doing the work. I'm like, bro, I'm having fun doing this shit. Like, what else do I want to do? It feels so good, especially when you get into your heart and that shit start beating ecstasy and euphoria and bliss. Like, yeah, this don't feel like work. It feels like great pleasure. So yeah, you know, it's amazing. It's literally amazing. Oh yeah, I want to say also, when we did that pineal gland meditation at 4 a.m., bruh, we finished the meditation and he said, open your eyes. And we open our eyes and we get up and he's like, the time is now 9:02 a.m. I'm like, did we just meditate for 5 hours and you didn't tell us? We just entered into a state of timelessness. When you're in no time, anything's possible, bruh. And those meditations, bless your heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And I'm almost done. And when you're in those meditations, bro, you enter into a state of timelessness where you're forced to not even care about what time it is or why time is important. You really enter into a space where you're pure consciousness, pure nothingness. And when you can put a focus on something that you want in this life, or not even want, something that you envision, your dream life, whatever it is, the biggest dream you could fucking imagine, the best life for yourself. When you can envision that in a state of nothingness, in a state of pure consciousness, there's no separation between you and it, and you can get it quicker than you could if you did it from 3D to 3D, trying to change matter with matter. Like, oh, I'm gonna go apply for this job and then save money from the job, and that takes 4 years, then take out my 401k and then get the house that I want. Like, there's ways you can get anything you want by entering into a state of no time, no 3D, no body, no anything, and you are right there with what you want and the person that you are. Like, there's no distance in between it. There's no time, there's no space. And then when you open your eyes, I understand that we like go through time. You're like, okay, where is it? If you want the Mercedes Benz, you open your eyes after getting into the meditation and envisioning having it. Then you open your eyes and see it's not there. don't be in that's lack. Don't wonder when or what or how or where. Just know that you made the connection. Know that you put it into the universal mind, because consciousness and the observation of pure consciousness is what determines reality. So just the fact that you observed it in a state of pure consciousness is what's going to bring it in real time to the tangible realm. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I think I'm in there. If there's anything else I want to add, I'll add it as the editor of this video. Hopefully there isn't. I'm sure there is. But yeah, guys, I had a beautiful time, and my life is forever changed. Of course, I'm going to go to another event at some point. There's some people who went to 10 of them. I met so many people who were like, yeah, this is my 7th one. Yeah, this is my 8th one. One person said he's been 10 times. I'm like, yo, goddamn. I probably won't do that, but like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And people just keep coming back because there's just more to learn, and there's just so much humanity there that, like, how could you not? I'm mad the sun didn't come back for me, but it's okay. You guys have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, Dr. Joe.
Daddy Joe.
Oh yeah, damn. This is what I forgot, bro. I was meditating. I was meditating on the beach. We were doing a walking meditation. 2,200 people. We're all walking, right? And I end up stopping and looking to the sky. How did I forget this? This is what I'm talking about. How did I forget this? I'm looking up. I'm like meditating, and my heart is open, and I feel this like presence like walk up to me, just like right on my shoulder, literally. And I look over, and it's Dr. Joe, and he's just like smiling, looking at me. He with his sunshade, with his shades on and his hat on. He's just, I'm just like convulsing and like looking, like, and then he puts his hand on the back of my heart and just slides it down my spine. He like held it there for like 5 seconds and then slid down my spine, and I just started tingling even more and just fucking convulsing. This euphoria just came right there. Yeah, no, for real. I was like, yo, Daddy Joe, take it easy. Everybody calls him Daddy Joe. That's funny, but I was like, damn, nigga, what? And everybody I told that to, they was like, bro, we didn't even see him out there. That's crazy. So yeah, that was a beautiful moment, because I definitely, before coming to the event, in my meditations would envision me having an interaction with him, like hugging him or something like that, and then it ended up happening. And then the second walking meditation, the next day, I ended up seeing him twice. And then after seeing him the first time, I was like, the next time I see him, I'm going to return the favor. And so I saw him walking, and then he was like kind of walking towards the direction I was walking past, and I held out my heart, and then I held out my hand, and then I placed it on his heart, and then I had my heart already covered by my hand, and then he just like put his hand on my stomach as we walked by each other, and that felt really good. And I was like, damn, yeah, you know, he saw me and I saw him, and it was received. The connection was made. So yeah, shouts out to Dr. Joe, bro. You are doing incredible work. That man deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. I'm surprised he doesn't have one. But people's lives are being changed, not hundreds, but thousands of people's lives are being changed with this work. And I'm just, so grateful to be a part of the community, and also be a testament to what's taking place. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace and love. All right, bye.